Hey, what's up everybody? Got another BB gun to show you, and this one I picked up Saturday at my swap meet for 35 bucks, and happens to be another Crosman BB gun, CO2 powered, BB, not pellet. There is a pellet version of this, and it's just a different model number, and a little tiny bit chunkier, but other than that, I like this one better. I'd rather have BB, and it's very cool. This one is modeled after, I believe, a Colt revolver. It's called Crosman Frontier Model 36 Peacemaker Single Action BB Gun. And on revolver, this is what's really cool. The whole cylinder revolves, not just a little clip at the end of it that you either feed pellets or whatever into, or break the barrel and then take that off and fill up. Kind of like my dad's, and then the one that my nephew had that I passed on to a friend so he can break it instead of me, as in thing was foobar. And the way it does on the BBs, 6 shots into the cylinder, and it's got a feed tube off to the side built into the barrel, where you just pull back that little lever there that's on a spring, and I believe you can feed in like 12, 13 BBs, let that go, and it's supposed to be 18 shot. And the way that you get the others in there, once it's full, you just rotate the barrel a few times. That will feed BBs into the little chambers, and then you can flip it over and add a few more. Which, no big deal, as in, to get this thing to work, you're going to end up dry firing it about 4 to 5 times at most. As in, it pierces the CO2 different than most of the other CO2 guns that I have. As in this one, CO2 goes under the barrel of the gun. Drop it in like that, and then you got a little knob. Wrong way. Not going to tighten it up completely, but you spin that little knob to make the bolt push against the CO2 and get it in there tight, but not overly tight. Just snug it in there really good, finger tight. And you flip it over and just dry fire it a few times, and I believe that little piercing needle in there is kind of on a piston, so when you fire it, that jets out and strikes the CO2, which is a good thing on this gun. Nice little safety feature they did, because you don't want to be having your hand right there with the tender spot, as in that spot, aimed towards where any CO2 can jet out, because that stuff is really cold, and when it hits the skin, it burns. It's that kind of just freezer burn type cold. You don't want that. So cool that they did it that way. Other than that, it is built really good. And on when this was made, I kind of question on the years, because I'm thinking they're combining the Model 1 and then the Model 2 together on how long this thing was produced. As in, I'm thinking this is the Model 2 that was made in 1972 on to like 75. And then the original one, I believe, was made in 1970, and it wasn't called Crosman, it was called a Han. And I think it's a different number too. I think it was a Han 44 instead of 36, and pretty much looked just like this. May have been a few revisions on the parts inside, as in the guy had one. It's just I didn't buy it because it was in really bad shape. All the paint was damn near off of it, and just looked like it got used a lot. But the grips are different on the Han, as in instead of simulated wood like these ones, stimulated stag. And didn't look bad, but just gave the look that you were holding a kid's toy gun. It just looked too fake, but still cool. Those are very collectible from what I found, man. As in, I guess it's pretty hard to find one that's in good shape, and that's why I went for this one instead, man. It's just needing a little bit of touching up on the paint here and there. Pretty much retains all of it, and unlike my dad's, to where the seal is definitely shot on his, to where I have to like get a sandwich bag and put it over the CO2 so it won't leak. This thing works perfect. It doesn't leak at all. Nice strong shot. once it's pierced it good. And on the power of this, it seems to have a bit of power for a BB gun. Kind of like that other one. I don't know, the soda I was shooting at, as in full cans of soda, I didn't just go out and buy some to shoot like an idiot, as in soda good. I'd rather have it go into my tummy than all over the yard, but it was some that I had in my shed that had been sitting in there for a few years. I stuck in some 6-packs or whatever, left over from when I was doing vending. Probably had to get it out of my car because it was too hot or something. And it's just been expanding and attracting or whatever over the years from hot and cold. So, I don't know. As in, I shot a can of Diet Pepsi with this, and kind of like that one with the 6-shot burst. Boom. So, I don't know, maybe the freaking stuff was eating into the aluminum on the can and just thinning it out, or I don't know, man. But, same thing, it just exploded the can, and then all the other ones, nice big holes to where it hits nice and hard. Then, didn't just get this, as in the guy had 2 of them, and I can tell he really liked them, and probably was not happy to have to sell them, as in, he wanted $35 a piece, so, I say, man, for this one, worth it. The other one, just too much work to restore it. Had each one of them in a leather gun holster, this being the better. This one's made by a company called Hunter. Don't recognize the brand. I don't have real guns, just BB, pellet, and airsoft. But their logo looks like a powder horn, and then just says Hunter down it. But great shape, and the gun fits in it perfect. So nice little bonus, man. This here alone's probably worth about $20 or so. So anyways, other than that, man, definitely has some heft to it. And by the way, on these, because it's a Crosman, you can go to the Crosman website, front page, scroll down to the bottom where it says like customer service, customer care, whatever. They got a little list of things you can click on. Top of that list is owner's manuals, and all you have to have is like Adobe PDF reader. And when I downloaded it for this thing, I noticed those manuals, they got them going back to as far as the 50s. So pretty much any gun they have, you can at least get a PDF of the original owner's manual. And newer ones, this being one of them, you can also get a manual where it's kind of like a parts list and shows this gun and some of the other ones that they got in an exploded view. So if you're working on it, you can see what's missing or broken or whatever. As in, I have seen some of these for sale, not really on eBay or anything, more like blog sites for gun collectors. And a lot of times they've been broken to where either it's just needing a seal, usually for the CO2, to where it's just been shot too many times and that seal's disintegrated, or maybe the hammer or trigger doesn't work anymore or whatever, to where it's either a repair one or parts. And on those, I think the cheapest one I saw so far was starting at $40 for a parts gun. So for one that works, I'm gonna guess $50 and up, depending on how nice it looks. Saw a couple that were still in the box, damn near mint. You're looking at either really close to $100 or sometimes even over, depending on the quality. If somebody's got one to where it's like freaking new, you're looking at $100 or more. So they're around, just hard to find one that actually works. I was very lucky. There's something to point out here. Can't really show it to you guys, but where the CO2 goes in, that little chamber, a lot bigger than usual. Really chunky. The little rubber gasket or whatever's in there is not like the usual that you see like on this new one I got, to where it's just kind of stuck in there. It looks like it's literally like just a circle piece of rubber that's nice and thick stuck in there, so the nose of the CO2 kind of goes into that. So like I say, it seals really good. So better than usual. I don't know why they changed that, man, because obviously it was made to last. So that is the end of this video. Don't ask me how to take this apart or repair it, as in I just got it last weekend and I've only gotten to shoot it twice. So I can say they're nice if you find one that works. I mean, this thing is a blast to shoot. I'd say almost in par with the new one I got. It's just not full auto, but definitely fun to shoot this. Very cool. So, catch y'all later, and I think I'll do the other vid later on tonight. I gotta find a way to show it to where I can get the camera in nice and close or whatever, man. It's a really beautiful old knife that I found that has carving in it, as in into the metal, and just friggin' beautiful. One of those things to where the guy had no clue what he had, and mega score. It's turning out to be quite valuable. So, something to where I've seen some around occasionally and just didn't get it because I had no clue what they were, and this time cheap enough to where I snatched it up and turned out to be a gem. So you never know. Seem to be scoring a lot at my swap meet lately, as I will be there tomorrow, and they come home with something else. They seem to be either not loaded full of knowledge or just desperate for money at my swap meet lately. So once again, later.